Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to another video log entry of stuff that I've been randomly doing throughout the last week. And I've been doing a lot of Demozoo. So I guess the video is going to be titled Demozoo, maybe Demozoo hyphen dealing with post-party depression. It's a common thing in the demo scene if you attended too many demo parties or just a few demo parties. After you have attended this big event, you get a little bit of a depression afterwards because you don't know what to do. You just finished a big project, you submitted the stuff. Well, if you made an entry, you're hyped about all the things that happened, and then you go back to the normal life and it's just boring. So you get a little bit depressed, missing all the different stuff that you were doing, catching up with lost emails and to-do things and all that stuff. I more or less took care of the most urgent things. I have a few that I've been procrastinating, and what I've been using to procrastinate / deal with my post-party depression has been to use Demozoo. Demozoo. The website that has most information about the demo scene things. It used to be Puet for a lot of times, but Puet did not carry information about individual graphics releases or individual music. So Demozoo started to fill up that void and also has proper crediting system for the things. So slowly started using Demozoo a bit more and preparing the videos for the hypes for revision, the competition hype videos series that I did for revision. I had to use Demozoo a lot, and also for the monthly reports. And I mostly spent a lot of time adding missing information there, like missing screenshots mostly, because I want all the things that I'm showing on the video to have screenshots for. And there are a lot of holes, a lot of missing screenshots for previous things, for previous years, even for modern parties. Most new parties that come out have all the results listed on Demozoo. But sometimes it's missing either a download URL, or it's missing a link to the Puet page, or a link to the CSDB page, or a link to Janeway. It's missing links, it's missing screenshots, it's missing proper credits. There's also always something missing. And I ended up falling for that rabbit hole. And it is a very big rabbit hole, which I already had some very good experience with from the Puet days, nearly 2 decades ago, when Puet first came to be, which was around 2002, if I'm not mistaken. I got very much involved in the Puet rabbit hole, filling up the missing information and stuff, and I ended up being administrator of Puet when Analog stopped caring about it, and I was still member of scene.org at the time. So I have some experience dealing with demoscene databases and getting lost for hours going through information that no one else has cared to update before. And it's funny because I still remember getting shit for... there's this very specific party moment that I remember at Breakpoint 2003, where I met Blala, and he said, "Oh, great work on Puet, thank you for that. But I have to make a complaint. You don't add screenshots when you add productions." And this was true. And that comment stuck with me. And the reason I never really added screenshots on Puet when I was adding productions is because my OCD happens by layers. So the first layer of my OCD is that I have to have all the results of the party listed. They need to be all of them there so I can click and see the information on the thing. And then afterwards, once they are all listed there, then I start caring about the screenshots. And hopefully by then someone will already have cared and taken care of that and putting the info file listed and all that kind of stuff. And nowadays it's adding the YouTube video link that's sometimes missing, adding the link to Demozoo, adding on Demozoo the link to Puet, that kind of stuff. And I just get lost for hours on that. I start by just adding, revision is missing all the entries for the wild compo. So I start adding them one by one, and there's a group that I have doubts with. I have to check on Demozoo, check if it's the same group, if it's not the same group. I did this with the game, a Commodore 64 game by Unreal. And Unreal is a group, but there are several Unreal groups, and there were several issues with this. First, there's an Hungarian group and an old Czech group, but the Czech group was split into two groups. Because one of them was for Atari stuff and one of them was for 64 stuff. But the person used to be on the same group. But then he quit the Atari group and he started doing Commodore 64 stuff only. And somehow people still call him that person from Unreal group, even though he's no longer in Unreal group. So have to ask people about this. Why are there two different groups if it's... one of them says that it's a Czech group, and the other one says that it's a Commodore 64 group. But they're Czech people on the Commodore 64 group, so this doesn't make any sense. So I started getting lost in this stuff, and I never ran these productions. I never ran anything from Unreal at all, either for the Atari or for the Commodore 64. And suddenly I'm spending a lot of time asking people about this and trying to either merge them or release them correctly. And then after doing it on Demozoo, I have to do it on Puet as well. And I just spend a lot of time. Then there's the third Unreal group, which is from old Amiga days, Amiga 90s days, supposedly from Yugoslavia. And the only reference to it online on databases is a Puet entry that says unreal.yu, has one single submission, and I'm like, okay, so this person was onto something. It was me that added that back 12 years ago. I have no recollection of that. The URL is broken. It links to an image and not a zip file. The production, I can't find the list of that production anywhere else, so I'm left wondering what the hell is happening with this. So I ended up searching for Unreal, and I do find that most of their demos are on Amiga Scene. So I have to set up WinUAE to watch the productions and somehow try to make sense of that. And I can show you now what I'm talking about. So Unreal, there's an ASCII group also called Unreal. Unreal Commodore 64, a Czech C64 demo group. And there was also Unreal Czech group, which is also part of the same people, but not the same people. So it's confusing. Then there's a French Unreal group, and then there's a Yugoslavian Unreal group, which was totally empty here. The only reference that it had was for the Puet page, which is the thing that I talked about. It was created by me. I have no recollection of that. There's a pack called Unreal Productions, which I have no recollection of. And the link to this is a download.gif on a retro computing website. So I think this is supposed to be deleted, but maybe it exists. Unreal Productions is also a name of another group, but it makes games. Slightly erotica games, from what I understood, for retro computing stuff, and it has nothing to do with the Unreal Yugoslavian group. So going back to the Unreal Yugoslavian group, these entries, I added these like a few days ago. And I actually watched them on UAE. I took the screenshots, and some of them were re-released later on by Lazybones, another group from that area. And I even added some notes here. And so I got lost on this rabbit hole. Like, I have no connection with Unreal whatsoever. I never had an Amiga. Why am I watching productions made in Yugoslavia in an Amiga just to be able to fill these corners on the damn database? And then I learned about new groups, like Uro was a group. They apparently got recruited into Lazybones as well. So I guess the main coder from Uro was friends with Sentinel, and they somehow did some collaboration works, and then they re-released that demo. Exactly the same binary, just the file name is different. One is LB underscore or hyphen collapse. The other one is this name here that has Unreal/collapse. Exactly the same number of bytes, exactly the same entry. They're just named differently because reasons. So yeah, it's fun / depressing / I don't know what the hell I'm doing kind of thing. But it fills the void of the post-party depression, I guess. And I guess that's why I've been doing it. So I was not an administrator of Demozoo, and I joined while I was doing the videos for revision stuff. And one of the main reasons that I did is because I'm trying to add all the stuff missing from demo journals. So I started adding them one by one, and I'm up to number 44. I added 99 because it was the last one. Yeah, I've been adding all the people who collaborated with Demo Journal throughout the years, like more active collaborators that did more than just send some news or stuff like that. And adding all the information for the different ones, like the people who got interviewed, the people who did stuff. Uploading the info files here so it's easier to just read it here. And some of this stuff is so cringy, like the first issues, I can't believe I got away with that, and people actually supported me for doing stuff. But overall it was pretty informative. Like it had the parties that just happened, so you can look for the results that happened. We started getting help from DC1 that ran the Flurp mirror in Hungary that mirrored all the Demoscene contents back then. Then scene.org also started sending me like a weekly summary of the new files that had been added. So we added that to the zip file. So that's what you can see here. Demo S as the news from scene.org. And usually Red Hound himself would write like a small introduction thing to what he'd been moving on this past week, and the list of all the files. So you could just check this file, and you knew the new stuff that was on scene.org that you could download. So yeah, it slowly started picking up from being extremely lame and extremely stupid with a lot of typos. Can't believe how bad my English was back then. Into something that started actually being useful. And like I would send out a weekly question and get several people replying and condense that into an article of opinions of some sort as well. So, and I think the main interesting thing that was in Demo Journal were actually the interviews. There are a lot of interviews here. Every single issue had an interview. And it was my way at the time to start to know a bit more about the demo scene. I would interview the person that I was interested to know more about. And yeah, so a lot of interview contents here for a lot of different people. And I've just been linking all of this stuff. And when results were listed, I add information about it on the party that was released for. So slowly adding that information to Demozoo when I'm bored late at night. And then I got lost adding some other stuff. Like I would just randomly... Zoom. What did Zoom do? I don't even remember Zoom anymore. Oh, he's part of Cryogen. That's why I remember him. Oh, and then I checked the random group. Oh, it's missing a screenshot here. Now I need to go and get the screenshot for that so that this page looks properly with all the nice screenshots here. So yeah. And I cheated a little bit on some places. When I need to do videos about it, I just go to the Poet page and I download. If this screenshot is high quality enough, just download this, which Demozoo staff says that you shouldn't do. So I'm gonna not do that anymore. But I mean, for stuff that it's hard to set up, we need to set up DOSBox just to get a fucking screenshot. If the resolution is good enough, why not use that? So for the revision hype videos, I did that a lot. Just go to Demozoo or go to CSTB, download that screenshot, add that screenshot, and that's it. So that when I'm browsing the party, the listing looks a bit more better. And I also have this special user script where if I hover, of course now it doesn't work. This is the default for showing. But I have another. Oh, maybe it only works on parties. Let me find a random party. Well, you've seen on the monthly videos. I have a special script where if you go by party, you can hover over the thing and it shows you a higher resolution version. And I have a hotkey even to switch to be on this corner or be on that corner. Yeah. And I even lowered it a little bit so you can see results revision here. So it's easier to read. By default, Demozoo only says results. So my custom script also added the name of the party here. So yeah, it helps browse stuff a little bit better. It makes for a better video. It's still not, perfect. It could be better, but it helps do everything in just one take. So anyways, this is why I wanted everything to have proper screenshots. So I could just, and I need when I'm recording next The review for April, I will need to have these filled up. So if I'm talking about Amiga demos, I can show these, and then I will show Cycle Hop, which no one has bothered to add a screenshot yet. And sometimes people don't add screenshots because if you go there, there's a link to the YouTube, so people don't really care. If there's something missing here, they usually don't care that's not listed on the party. That's the experience that I had. But you can still add screenshots, and the more you add, the better. The higher resolution, the better. So yeah, it's also one of the things that I bothered Gasman about. Like, if there's a YouTube video out of it, there is a direct link that you can have the screenshot that they use. So just use that screenshot by default, or grab that screenshot by default. So that when we are taking a look at the party system here, they will already have thumbnail screenshots by default. But of course, Gasman is busy with other stuff, and this is like not high priority for them. So I had to cook up my own user scripts. Other user script stuff that I've been doing as well. When you are looking at a production, and you see here the name, sometimes a production is just named Lost. Tagged as Lost, because it used to have a URL but no longer has, and sometimes I just want to search if it exists on scene.org. So I did this user script that adds this thing here, exactly the same file name, just have a thing that you can click, and it automatically goes to the search page on scene.org with that file name, so you can immediately have it here. So if, for example, if I see a production on Demozoo that is missing a scene.org URL, only has like a private website that might go down, I can quickly search if it's already on scene.org. If it is, copy paste this link, add it to the Demozoo page, and now the Demozoo page has a little bit more longevity. And if it's not listed on scene.org, then it's a good opportunity for me to wget the file and upload it to scene.org. So make sure that it will remain available in the future. So small things like that. Another stupid thing that I've been doing is that once you are an administrator of Demozoo, once you unlock that thing, you have a few extra URLs that you can use to check stuff that is missing, like unresolved screenshots, productions with blurred, blah, blah, blah. One of them that I found very interesting was the Poet link matching, where it lists groups that exist on both Demozoo and Poet, but they don't have, that they might not have the URLs assigned for each other's productions. So what it gives, and I'm going to show you an overkill thing, an alpha flight. So it has a lot of intros, and if you scroll all the way down, you can see some of them have already been matched between Demozoo and Poet.net. So if you go to Poet, you have a link to Demozoo. If you go to Demozoo, you have a link to Poet. They're already matched to each other. There are a lot of productions that were added on Demozoo that don't have a counter on Poet, or maybe it exists, but people haven't matched them yet. So you can use this screen to match them. You can click here, check what it is, and see which one here could possibly be the comparing one, and click that to check as well. And one thing that I clicked was, if it's, well, AFL is a bad because it might be one of these, but I don't know. Let me check one that it should be against Hurricane, for example. Doesn't seem to be listed anywhere. And if I can click, I can see the information here. And I already have all this information here, but it's not on Demozoo. So what I did was I created a script that when you click insert, it sends you to the create new production thing, and it passes this argument of the Poet ID. And what I do on my script is that once I'm loading this page, my user script checks if there's an argument with the Poet ID, does a call to the API, and autofills the information that it can fill, like the date, the name, the production name, and most importantly, the download link that you can stuff. And then you can say that it's Commodore 64. Could probably autofill this as well, but I was lazy to do it. And the type, and I can check here that it's a demo. Add new production. Alpha flight needs to be, I don't have a specific month, so I'm just gonna put it 1989. Add, bam, and now we have a production from this list that has already been added to the thing. Still have to add the Poet link, and then on Poet add the Demozoo link. It's just the Demozoo ID. Okay, and now the database is slightly more filled with something. And now if you go to Alpha Flight 1970, takes a long time because they have a lot of releases, very old group. And Against Hurricane, let me try to search for it. Against Hurricane, you see it listed here now. Amazing, mind-blowing. So yeah, it's a much faster way to just add the stuff. If you see something that is clearly not added to Demozoo, you can quickly add them. And I did a few, like for example, Batman group who was missing a few informations. I added that. Random groups that I just see that it's missing information, added them. But there's still a lot of them to be sorted through. Like all of these, they have mismatched stuff that needs to be taken care of by someone who has patience enough to see. Most of these are Commodore 64 crack throw stuff and old Amiga things. But some of them are PC, and those actually interest me, and those are the ones that I mostly took care of. But I think most of the stuff left here is Commodore 64 and stuff like that. Mr. Doob has some stuff that is missing. Wow. It's amazing that stuff is credited to Mr. Doob directly, because he was member of Explosive mostly. Disqualified me, I ripped the tune. Cassinet hardware destruction. I don't even remember this. What the hell is this? At the Euskal 2000 Wild competition. Yeah, and one of the things that happens with Demozoo, since they have the complete results, on Poet, a lot of competitions are skipped. So there are a lot of entries on Demozoo that just don't have the same on Poet. But we can check for this one in particular. Since we're here, since we're killing time, just recording a video, chilled out video, where I'm forgetting about all the stuff that I should be talking about. Euskal 2000, let's take a look if they have the wild compo entry here. They only have a few entries, they don't have all of them. So this is one of the issues with Poet. Like people cared about the demos, the intros, wild compos, animation compos, not that much. So sometimes stuff is missing. So I'm missing the other way around now to, you know, click a file, click a add to Poet here, where it automatically goes into the submit production and fills out these fields by default, which are a lot more annoying to fill out than on Demozoo. On Demozoo, you have a lot of things that is automated, like the party stuff. You're already adding it at the party, so you don't have to keep writing revision all the time, which was a huge pain in the ass when I was adding the missing revision stuff. There's just an example of usability that is slightly better on Demozoo, and some things were improved throughout the times, like you can now auto search for the group, not know its thing by default, but yeah, it's still a bit more painful to use than Demozoo in that regard. So yeah, what other stuff? I'm missing stuff to talk about. Take a look. So I already talked about why I joined Demozoo, administration stuff, adding demo journal things, adding the screenshots for the revision videos. I spent some time doing the complete list of Poet and Demozoo. This was completely OCD because I mostly use Demozoo for showing the stuff on the monthly reports now, so I shouldn't care about Poet anymore. But I was looking at the Poet listing of revision, and it had holes in it, and I wanted to commentate on those productions. So I ended up going through all of them, checking which ones were missing, and adding them. So I ended up completing every single thing that was missing from Poet. Well, there's one demo that is still missing, number 25, by Eucalyptus and Alchema, which is just not released yet. There was a placeholder. The placeholder got uploaded to scene.org. So currently, it's still missing. I'm going to double check right now. But currently, it's still missing the binary for that demo in particular. And already, yeah, they even, like, placeholder number 1. They didn't even delete the placeholder. I already pinged people to delete this. They haven't deleted it yet. So yeah, we have a placeholder TXT file instead of the proper demo here. I don't see any eucalyptus. I don't see any alchema. And I don't see any neighbors. So yeah, I don't think it's been added yet. Still missing. Maybe lost forever. What else? User scripts, I already talked about. Poet groups, searching. I already talked about everything. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this video about post-party depression and how I've been coping with it, mostly using Demozoo as a procrastination tool. But there are other things that we could be doing. I just noticed that Sessions demo party is happening in Japan, so I could do a production for that to support Observer and the rest of the people organizing Sessions thing. So I still have 3 days to do something. Maybe I'll do something for the TIC 80. Not sure. So yeah, I could be doing that instead, or I could be taking care of my to-do list, which is still filled with stuff to do for my label. I've done a lot of label stuff. I need to prepare the next releases, some old video links discussion. I have a few things that I have to recording a new introduction video for the YouTube channel because the old one is way outdated by today's standards. So yeah, a lot of small things that I could be taking care of, but instead I'm lost on the Demozoo rabbit hole of just adding more productions and fixing little things that are wrong. So yeah, that's been my week. How have you been coping with revision post-party repaction? Let me know on the comments below, and I hope you're having a great day. See you next time. Bye bye everybody. Take care.